Attila Bujaki. I'm a senior software engineer in Genius Yield. I've been with the company 2 years now, and recently we had been working on a trading bot API, and the API is in a state now that's ready for a public test phase. According to this, I would like to share some details about the API. The Genius Yield Trading Bot API is a RESTful API. We are providing an open API specification document for the API, so developers of any programming language could easily generate client libraries from this formal specification. The API is well documented. The different available resources are all documented in the bot API, and as you can see, there are several different resources that are available for use, and basically all the different things that you might need for implementing a trading strategy are going to be available here, like the historical prices, the order books, the balance managed by the bot, and all the relevant other information that you might be interested in while working on a trading strategy. All of this is available as a RESTful API, so a simple post order could be used to create a new on-chain order, or a delete request can be sent to the backend to cancel an existing on-chain order. So it's very simple to access the different resources and manipulate them. Let's have a bird's-eye view look at the Trading Bot API. How is it gonna fit into the landscape of the Genius Yield software components? There is going to be a new component called the Trading Bot server. This is gonna be somewhat similar to the existing market maker bot. The Trading Bot server is going to be something that you can spin up yourself as a Docker container. It's going to be able to manage a wallet itself, so you can configure the Trading Bot server to be using a wallet by adding the seed phrase to the configuration, and the wallet is going to be then managed by the backend. All of this is going to be delivered by Genius Yield, so you don't really have to worry about this. You can just spin up the container image on your local infrastructure and you're ready to use the Trading Bot API. The server, the backend itself, is going to be using a provider, but since we are using Atlas, it's going to be really flexible, so you can choose if you want to use Maestro, Blockfrost, or eventually your own Cardano node via Kupo. That's all possible. But what is the governing vision behind all of this? The basic idea is pretty much to enable the development of a flourishing trading bot ecosystem on the Genius Yield DEX platform. The API is opening up the DEX to the software engineer community of many different programming languages. Any modern programming language could be used to implement trading strategies. As you can see in this chart, you could have Python, TypeScript, Java, whatever programming languages used to implement different trading strategies. And of course, we are also going to develop software development kits. As a first software development kit, the Python strategy executor is going to be open sourced very soon. It's gonna be supporting the execution of trading strategy implementations in Python, and this is going to be delivered with example strategy implementations, so you could see how you could implement your own strategy based on the examples provided. For now, the idea is that the backend is hosted by the trading strategy operator. The person who operates the trading bot needs to run the backend itself, and the bot wallet is going to be managed by the backend. In the future, we are going to look into if it's possible to move the bot wallet management to the client side, so we could take care of the hosting and running of the backend, making it even easier for the community to run trading bots without the need to run their own backend, their own bot API servers, and one day it might be even possible to run trading strategies simply in a browser without running Docker containers. And of course, these strategies could be also using some other APIs, not necessarily only the trading bot API, but in the logic you're implementing your trading strategy, you could be also using other APIs. For example, you could use something like the market sentiment API provided by CoinMarketCap, and you could adjust different parameters of your trading strategy based on different factors like the current market sentiment, or you could be analyzing news using some AI tools. And of course, this is also making it possible to integrate some AI models in your custom trading strategy. And we are also looking into a way how we could provide you access with pre-trained AI models that you could be using in your trading strategies without doing the heavy lifting of training these AI models. And this way we are trying to achieve the AI machine learning DEX vision. Let's see now how the trading bot API could be used to implement a trading strategy that is relying on the Bollinger Bands indicators. The trading strategy is going to be using the data available via the bot API and use this to implement a trading strategy that is making decisions based on the Bollinger Bands and place or cancel orders on the Genius Yield DEX according to this information. We're going to see an example of a trading strategy that's continuously evaluating the market, computes the Bollinger Bands, and does different actions according to the current market situation. The strategy is basically going to be calculating the upper and lower band using a Python library, and it's going to be placing buy orders when the price is below the lower band, and it's going to be placing sell orders in case the current market price is above the upper Bollinger Band. So let's see how we could implement this. Let's see now how the trading bot API and the Python trading strategy executor could be used to execute a trading strategy written in Python. In this example, we're going to see how a Python trading strategy could be executed using the trading strategy executor framework, which is going to be provided as a free open source software by Genius Yield. And here is an example how such a strategy could work. Such strategy implementations just need to fulfill a couple criteria. Needs to come with a Python file defining a class, having two specific functions, the init and execute functions. As you can see here, the Bollinger Bands example strategy is going to be using the Talib indicators, which is one of the over 50 ready-to-use available financial indicators, part of the Talib Python library. And this library is available for use and can be easily integrated with trading strategy implementations. It's quite easy to use, and very useful for such use cases like live trading, like in this case. So the code itself is pretty simple. There's some boilerplate code here with initialization, loading, configuration settings, which can be dynamically adjusted via environmental variables. And of course, in the end, it's initializing the Bollinger Bands class from the Talib library, and we're gonna be feeding this indicator with financial data, with the candlestick data as it's gonna get available. And the framework is gonna be executing the strategy via the execute function. This is gonna be called on a regular basis, and it's gonna be passing the candlestick data loaded from the API, from the backend, and this is gonna be then processed and passed to the Bollinger Bands financial indicator. Of course, it takes a couple candlesticks until the Bollinger Bands are ready to be used, but as soon as enough data has been passed to the financial indicators and the data is actually ready to be used, we're going to be evaluating the actual strategy, which is as simple as already described. It's just checking if the current market price has crossed the lower or upper Bollinger Band, and if it is crossing right now, it has just crossed the lower band, then we're going to place a buy order, and in case it has just crossed the upper band, then we're going to place a sell order. This is pretty much the core of the logic of the trading strategy. The rest is mostly just boilerplate code. This is a rather simple strategy only for demonstration purposes and a proof of concept to show you how it could work. And you're going to see how this strategy is actually placing and cancelling orders on the Genius Yield DEX using the API. So let's continue with the demo. So let's see how the Bollinger Bands trading strategy could be started using the trading strategy executor. There is a make target available for starting the strategy. Just call make start BB and starting the Bollinger Bands strategy. Of course, first the Docker image must be rebuilt from the most recent source code, but this won't take a lot of time. And afterwards, it's already spinning up the trading strategy executor. In the background, two containers are being started, as you can see here. A server container, which is going to be serving the bot API and do all the relevant logic that's necessary to load the data from different sources, place on-chain orders, cancel them, calculate current order books, and so on. So all of this is taken care of by the server, and in your strategy you can concentrate on the implementation of the trading strategy without any need to do any logic that is low level or not really related to the trading strategy. And as you can see, now the backend is up and running, and the strategy is already processing the candlestick data. It's working on historical data to make it more interesting, to have more action during the live demo. And as you can see, it has already noticed that one of the Bollinger Bands has been crossed, so it's time to place a sell order, but it didn't have any gems, any T-gems to be sold on the market. But now the other Bollinger Band had been crossed, so it is placing a buy order. And since the bot is funded with TADA, it's able to actually place such a buy order. In order to make sure that all the relevant UTXOs are available and haven't been consumed later on, we need to wait for confirmation a bit. But while we are waiting for this, let's see what happened here, because there was quite much action in a short time, so it might make sense to go through the output of the logs, the output of the trading strategy executor. So first it's logging the configuration. You can see that there are some settings that can be changed in the config files, and after this the strategy executor itself is starting. It's building up a web server, so there's going to be a health check endpoint where you can check on your strategy executor if it's running, what the state of it is, and there is also some information available from the backend. There is a settings endpoint which is providing metadata about the backend, like the version, what backend it is running, what revision, and what is the address of the wallet managed by the backend. This is going to be really important, because then you know what address you need to send the funds to in case you want to fund your strategy executor bot. And here you can see that the strategy itself also has some configuration, like what market it should be operating on, and in this case it's configured to be placing buy and sell orders on the ADA T-Gens, so ADA T-Gens market actually, and it can be configured how big the order should be. And for the Bollinger Bands, there is also a standard deviation multiplier that is describing how wide these Bollinger Bands should be. And as it was already described before in the initialization phase, the financial indicator, the Bollinger Bands indicator from Talib, is going to need a few candlesticks until it's available, because this indicator only makes sense if it has already processed some candlesticks, some price data, but after a few price points it's already spitting out the upper and lower bands, and this is going to be compared with the current market price. So you can see as soon as the current market price crosses one of these bands, then there is an action triggered. And this is what we saw here and also in this case, which was leading to a buy order being placed. And as you can see, we even got the reference of the UTXO representing this buy order. And then we keep track of this in case we need to cancel it later on, and that is what is happening here. We cross the other Bollinger Band, so it's time to cancel the buy orders, and that's being done here via the cancel function of the API. And this is pretty much how it works. The source code is going to be available to you via GitHub. We are making this implementation open source. You're gonna see this as a reference implementation and example how you could use the trading bot API and the trading strategy executor to implement your own trading strategies. And I hope this is going to be helpful, and in case you need any support with this, feel free to reach out to us via Discord. There is also another strategy implementation example that could be interesting to you, and this is pretty much showcasing how the different endpoints could be used. This is just a reference for you, an example how you can access the settings, the market data, asset details, wallet balance, trading fees, order books, your own orders placed by the bot, the price history of the different assets, and all of these. And of course it also includes an example how to place an order or how to cancel an order. All of this source code is going to be available for the public via our public GitHub repository. Let's see how you can execute this. So you could see that it is actually able to fetch all of this data from the backend via the bot API. So let's see how you could spin up this example. If you just start it with the make start command, you're gonna see that the Docker container is rebuilt again. If there are any changes to the code, those are actually deployed in the container, and very similarly to the previous executions where we were running the Bollinger Bands strategy, now it is spinning up a trading strategy executor, but with a different configuration. It's going to be using the strategy A, which is the example strategy. That is going to be simply logging different information retrieved from the bot API, so you could see how it is possible in Python code. This is really just a reference, an example for you, so you could easily look up how these different endpoints could be used. The starting of the server takes a bit of time, but it should be ready in a few seconds, and then we should see that the strategy is fetching data from the backend, and it is simply logging this to the console. So let's see. It should be ready any moment. Yeah, it's up and running. So you could see that it was able to load the settings, which is pretty much like metadata about the backend. It's able to access the data available about the markets. This is pretty much the list of the different markets available for trading. And it's able to load different asset details based on policy ID and asset names, load the current wallet balance, the trading fees of the exchange, and access the order book. And of course, not only the order book can be accessed, but also the own orders can be listed. And as I've shown you earlier, it's also placing and canceling orders from Python code, so you could easily see how that is possible from pure Python using the Python SDK. So, thank you very much for taking your time and watching these video tutorials about the Trading Bot API, the strategy executor framework, and how you could use this to implement your own trading strategies on the Genius Yield DEX. As always, we are happy to support you by our Discord channel. In case you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us, and we are more than happy to help you. I hope you're gonna enjoy using the tools we made for you and we open source for the community. Happy coding. Thank you guys.